Hello ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here and welcome back to some more Magic Arena gameplay. Today we're going to be looking at the Mono Blue Aggro list that was taken to a top 4 finish at Japanese Nationals by Ken Yukihiro. I use the word aggro because that's the name that is given on the coverage, but after testing I think Mono Blue Tempo is a more accurate name. The deck looks to resolve a few threats, then disrupt the opponent's game plan just long enough to win. But what's really great about this list is that even in the context of Arena, it's a very inexpensive deck to put together. There are only 9 rares and no mythics, and it's a very competitive deck. So, let's start by talking about what may be the most important card to the deck's strategy, Curious Obsession, a 1-mana enchantment that gives +1/+1, and whenever the enchanted creature deals combat damage to an opponent, we may draw a card. Now, if we don't attack at a given turn, it falls off, but that's okay since we want to be attacking every turn, and most of our creatures are evasive. This cheap card draw that we can generate while also clocking the opponent is what gives us the fuel to just tempo them out of the game by bouncing or tapping down their creatures or countering their spells. It is possible to win games without ever seeing a copy of this card, but it is much more difficult to do so. Now let's look at the creatures we'll be putting Curious Obsession on. The best target in the deck is Slitherblade, a 1/2 unblockable for 1 mana, allowing us to attack through any number of blockers unimpeded. Almost as good a carrier is Siren Stormtamer, a 1/1 flyer for 1 that has the additional utility of being able to sacrifice itself to counter a spell or effect that targets us or a creature we control. Then moving up the curve, we have Merfolk Trickster and Baral Chief of Compliance. Trickster is an excellent tempo card, coming down at instant speed and tapping our opponent's most troublesome threat, generally to force through more damage, but it can also tap things defensively to preserve our own life total. Baral is a great blocker against other aggressive decks, and helps us to play more efficiently with little mana on the board. Its loot ability when we counter a spell is also hugely relevant, allowing us to filter through the chaff and hit more gas throughout the game. Our curve tops out at the 3-drop slot, and the creatures that fit here are Tempest Djinn and Nimble Obstructionist. The Djinn represents an incredibly quick clock, while its 4 health allow it to survive many red removal spells. Obstructionist is a very versatile card. It can be a flash threat, coming down on the opponent's end step and being ready to swing in for 3 immediately. It can be an ambush blocker, or we can cycle it to prevent especially harmful abilities from resolving. For example, a Planeswalker ultimate. And that brings us to our spells. In the 1-drop slot, we have Dive Down, Spell Pierce, and Unsummon. The last thing we want is for a creature suited up with Curious Obsession to eat a removal spell, and Dive Down is an excellent way to keep that from happening, and in a pinch can help out in combat thanks to it pumping its target +3 on defense. Spell Pierce serves a similar role, but can also counter spells that don't have targets, and Unsummon is generally used to gain tempo by bouncing opposing creatures, but can also be used to save one of our own from a removal spell in a pinch. In the 2-drop slot, we have Chart a Course and Essence Scatter, more card draw that in this deck is very often just draw 2 for 2, and Essence Scatter helps us in our plan of delaying our opponent just long enough to allow our troops to finish them off. And finally, in the 3-drop slot, though quite often only actually costing 2 mana, is Wizard's Retort. We aren't super dense on the wizard creature type in this deck, but we do have 12 in total, and Retort is also perfectly fine if we have to pay full price for it. Throw in 21 islands, and we have our main deck. In the sideboard, we have 4 Diamond Mare, specifically for aggressive red decks. I can't really imagine wanting to ever bring it in versus anything else. For aggro in general, we have an extra Essence Scatter, Aethersphere Harvester, and a pair of Sleep. Scatter and Harvester don't really need much of an explanation, but Sleep is a card that you don't see very often. However, against other creature-heavy decks, it often just wins the game outright, tapping down all the opponent's creatures and then not letting them untap on the next turn. Rounding out our board is our suite of extra counter magic, Negate, Syncopate, and Jace's Defeat. Negate gives us an efficient answer to non-creature spells, while Syncopate is a more versatile option that also exiles, which can be quite relevant when dealing with recursive threats, and Jace's Defeat for blue decks specifically. And that, my friends, is the deck list. Let's turn some blue dudes sideways, shall we? Alright, this is a very good hand. We're on the play. We will keep it. We get to go turn 1 Slither Blade, suited up with a Curious Obsession. Hopefully they don't have a 1-mana removal spell. Opponent mulligan down to 6 here. Alright, fingers crossed for no creature kill. Also being able to hold up Spell Pierce for countering removal after we Curious Obsession is quite good. Go ahead and get in there. We will definitely be drawing that card, and I could drop a Storm Tamer, but I don't think we're going to because that would mean letting our Spell Pierce shields down, and there's the reason why. We want our Curious Obsession to stay in play. So let's go attacking. Hopefully we can draw a land here. We did not, so we're going to play out 1 Storm Tamer, again to protect our Slither Blade, leaving our land up to activate that. Looks like we got 4 color something or other going on here. Let's say no to that. We want to keep drawing lots of cards if possible. There's a land for us. Very good. Let's go ahead and attack. Alright, Wizard Retort's great. We need to get a Storm Tamer out. Then we have its activation or Wizard Retort because it is a wizard. We'll pass the turn. So this deck of the opponents is everything except for red. Alright, lands, very good. Let's go attacking. Just drawing tons of cards while dealing damage feels very good. We're just going to pass the turn here. We hold up 2 Wizard's Retorts. We've also got Merfolk Trickster and or Nimble Obstructionist. Teferi, let's say no to him.
Enough!
And opponent has had enough. Hopefully all of our games will go like that. That was pretty much textbook of what we want to do with this deck. So they looked very, very controlling. So I think we want our non-creature counter spells here. I'm not sure about Jace's Defeat. I'm not sure we saw enough of the deck to know if that would be useful, so maybe we should hedge on that. Syncopate, though, should be good. I don't think we want any of the rest of these. We only saw the elf as a creature. I would imagine there are some other creatures. We want to leave our Merfolk Tricksters in because they're wizards. They turn on our Wizard Retort. Maybe we just cut Essence Scatters. Syncopates serve as a bad version of that, but just a bit more versatile. And then maybe Chart of Courses. I think we want Spell Pierce. Maybe we don't want our Singleton Unsummon. We'll know more if we get to see more of the opponent's deck. Tell you what, let's cut 1 Tempest Gen. Our little stuff should be enough to get the job done, and then we'll cut 1 Chart of Course and just kind of hedge there. Not really sure what the opponent's game plan is unless they are a weirder build of Turbo Fog that we haven't seen before. Alright, this is a good hand too. We're missing a Curious Obsession, but we can't mulligan looking for that. We will keep. Will be much harder with ourselves. Oh, well, there's the Curious Obsession. I was going to say it's going to be much harder with us on the draw and our opponent on the play, but maybe not, just depending. Again, hopefully they don't have removal here. Alright, well, not getting removed. That's very good. There's another Storm Tamer. Let's go for Obsession. We're going to attack before we play out our other Storm Tamer, see if we draw a Spell Pierce or a Dive Down. We drew another Curious Obsession, so we'll play out our second Storm Tamer here. Hopefully not running ourselves into a Golden Demise or some other kind of sweeper from the opponent here. Yeah, there's a cast down, that's fine. We've got a replacement Curious Obsession in hand. Baral's good. I don't think we can afford to get him out this turn. We want to be able to hold up Wizard's Retort and Syncopate. Perhaps next turn, though, if we can hit our land drops. Well, there's a Spell Pierce too. That's quite good. Thinking Search for Azcanta may be a bit slow for our opponent this game. Elves, that's fine. You can have an elf. Cast down. Let's say no to that with a Spell Pierce. Use it while we can get use out of it. As the game goes on and they get more mana, it's less likely that we will be able to, so we can probably resolve Brawl this turn. Let's attack first, though, and see what we draw. Ooh, another Wizard's Retort. That almost makes me not want to cast Brawl, but I think we're going to. Brawl also makes our Syncopate a lot better. With his cost reduction. Gives us a free mana there on the colorless X cost. Cast down. So we could only do it for 2 with Syncopate, so I think we'll Wizard's Retort this. Or attempt to. Okay, they have a Syncopate, so our Storm Tamer is dying, but it did good work. They're down to 1 card in hand. They may be able to flip this Azcanta, which may be very bad for us, but we'll see. Go ahead and attack with Brawl. They don't have any white mana this game. Don't know how relevant that is, so mill Shalai. Okay, so they do have bigger creatures. See what else is in there. Just removal and Shalai. Choose not to attack. Oh, I clicked through that. I meant to flash in Merfolk Trickster. That was a mistake. Just a little distracted there. Which may end up being pretty big because we missed 2 damage. They are being stuck on lands. They can flip Azcanta this turn. Naturalize. Okay. Well, our only target is Curious Obsession, so Naturalize not super good versus us. They do have Gear Hulk mana, but we have a Wizard's Retort. Let's go ahead for Trickster. Not forget to do it this turn. Alright. They don't have a Gear Hulk, so dig them with Search. Get a Cast Down. Well, they can try to kill our Merfolk with that. But we will say no with our Syncopate. See, they're tapped out, so just for 1. We will use the loot effect from Brawl. And we don't want that island. Another island. Well, we'll play it out. Go attacking. We got 2 counterspells in hand. I feel like we're in okay shape here. Would love to get a Curious Obsession on the board. Shalai, you've got 3. So let's Syncopate for 4. That also allows us to hold up Wizard's Retort. Again, we want to use these X spells and Spell Pierces as early as we can so that they don't lose their efficacy. Hard counters like Wizard's Retort are much more valuable. A second one, that may just seal up this game for us. Yeah, looks like they're in the market to be blocking now. Their life's getting pretty low. We've got a 3-turn clock here. Seal away. No thank you. Yes, please. Go away, island. Another island. Well, I think we're going to hold this island for loot purposes now. We have enough lands in play to be going on with. Let's see what they dig up with Azcanta. They could still find an answer to what's going on here. Lay bare the heart. Alrighty. Well, we will retort that just so they don't know we have just an island in hand. Also, we could draw a counterspell with Baral's loot ability. Yes, please. Yeah, we'll take a Curious Obsession. Fumigate. That's sad. We got a Trickster, though. We will flash that in, I think. Go ahead and play it on their instep here. Darn it. They are a Nexus of Fate deck. Maybe not Turbo Fog, because we haven't seen any fogs from them. Alright, seal away. Wizard's Retort, great. We have an answer for their seal away now. Get in there. No, please. Draw another counterspell would be great. That's not what that is. We'll hold it, though. Maybe we can get them to use more discard on us. Alright, Azcanta digging here. Lay bare the heart. Yeah. And another search, okay. Well, we're getting right down to it. If they can't find an answer this turn, we will have this game. Another Curious Obsession is fine. We'll play out the island they know about and pass the turn. Alright, mill him with Azcanta. Land, digging for an answer. Don't find it. They found it. Yep, they have to use that. Alright, please don't let this game slip away from us. Syncopate helps, I guess. Would much rather have had a threat, though. Alright, milling a Sunpetal Grove. Making their land drops. They choose not to activate Azcanta on their turn. Well, we are just going to pass back. Unfortunately, with the way their deck's constructed, it is likely here that we could just lose from this point if we do not find a threat. Alright, lay bare the heart. I don't think we can syncopate that, so they're going to get our syncopate. Storm Tamer. They know our whole hand after we play this, so we might as well play our land out. Now we just need this little buddy to live. Alright. Much less likely it's going to get to live with that going on. Going to get 4 card draws to find an answer, unfortunately, at minimum. Well, at least they're not chaining off Nexuses yet. Fingers crossed. Alright, I mean, that's an answer, but we do get a draw to try to find a counter for it. Lyra. That's a lot more of an answer. Spell Pierce. Alright, I think we have lost. Yeah, we just don't have a way to get through this. I think we're just going to go ahead and go to game 3. So this game right here is a prime example of how even very small mistakes like forgetting to flash in your Merfolk Trickster on your opponent's instep so that you miss 2 damage can cost you an entire game. Alright, we know a little bit more about what's going on. I don't think Jace's defeat is worth bringing in. I don't think they have enough creatures to warrant Essence Scatter either. I think that I would like to have this 3rd Charta course. I'm just not sure what to cut to get it in. Maybe Merfolk Trickster. They don't have a lot of stuff to be tapping down, but Trickster does help turn on Wizard's Retort's reduction. I think we're going to cut 2 Tricksters and bring back in our Charta course in our 4th gen. And we will submit this. Yeah, we'll keep this. Would very much like to draw a Curious Obsession, as this deck is always looking to do. Right, we can get in there. Not drawing a card this time. That may be spelling our doom here. We'll see. Right, not throwing out a Seal Away or anything. We'll flash in our Trickster. Looks like they're going to syncopate that. There is a syncopate of our own, so let's get in there. So I think we're going to flash in Nimble Obstructionist here. Just depending. If they try to resolve an Azcanta, we'll counter that with Syncopate. Doesn't look like they're going to, so let's get some more pressure on the board, or attempt to. Alright, Essence Scatter. They're really stifling our aggro, and we're drawing way too many lands, unfortunately. Chart a Course or Curious Obsession is very important for us to draw here. Oh, there's another Syncopate. Got a 17-turn clock here. Don't like our chances with that. I think we have to counter that. Do it for 2. Really don't know why they tried to seal away our Slither Blade. It's not really a threat at this point. Well, we can't stop that one. Oh, there's a replacement. Cast down. They are really scared of these Slither Blades. Let's do it for 1 then. July. That is maybe game over for us. It can't block us at least. Yep, got nothing. Really don't think discard's a very good card to have in versus this deck. Just being honest here. And we're losing this damage race at present. They are off of green mana. So at least Shalai's not going to be pumping. Oh boy. Yep. That, my friends, is the game. We'll just keep plugging away here. Just in case we draw something, but we don't really have anything in the deck to deal with what's going on here. We could have brought in Sleep, but it's not very good, and it definitely wouldn't have won this. Sure, let's see what we can draw, or try to. It's not going to matter. They're going to kill us on the backswing. Brawl, sure. That is the game. Good game, opponent. This is a risky hand. We're on the draw though, so it's more likely we'll draw a land. If we can stick a Slither Blade with Curious Obsession, that will be good, so we're going to risk this, and it could backfire on us horribly. So be prepared for that. Alright, looks like we're up against an Aetherflux Reservoir combo type deck. Yep, Renegade map. Well, we will go Slither Blade. Most likely they're not going to be able to interact very profitably with our little creatures here, so that's good. I have yet to play against one of these with this deck. Alright, looks like they didn't have a second land, so going for that. Sure, Puzzle Knot. We just have to get them dead and or delay them. From going off here, so we could play our second Curious Obsession, but I think that that's a little overkill if they have a way to deal with our Slither Blade with a bounce spell or whatever, so let's attack. Very lucky for us to draw that land. We'll go ahead and play out our other Slither Blade, so we have another potential carrier for this second Curious Obsession. Don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket, so to speak. Prophetic Prism, sure. They're kind of spinning their wheels, which is what these decks tend to do a little bit in the early game. They missed a land drop. That's very good for us. So we're going to start with a Curious Obsession here. Hopefully we'll hit another land drop with our 2 card draws that will allow us to play Siren Storm Tamer and have its ability activatable. That's not a land, but it is a Spell Pierce, so that helps. Yeah, we're just going to pass the turn and hold up Spell Pierce here. If we'd hit our land, we would have played out Storm Tamer. Psi Master Thopterus, sure. Alright, we're going to respond to this so that they don't get to play another 0-cost artifact and get extra activations out of Psi. Not that these Thopters can block our Slither Blades anyway, but would not like to get out aggroed. Lands, please. That's not a land. There we go. Awesome. So, now I think we're going to play out our Storm Tamer. That will allow our Wizard's Retort to be cast for 2 and pass the turn. Glint Nest Crane, sure. Wanting to stop Psi from resolving or an Aetherflux Reservoir from resolving. Inspiring Statuary is probably worth countering too if they're able to try and cast it. We've got a fairly quick clock on the board here. I guess I could have flashed in Merfolk Trickster there. Maybe that would have been the better play. Let's go to attacks. We're going to attack with everything but the Storm Tamer. They can block it. And we will indeed be drawn. There's a land drop. Right, second Trickster. Let's go ahead and play our island out. And again, we're just going to pass the turn here. We'll discard a Djinn. And another Djinn. And opponent has had enough. Hopefully this doesn't just turn around like the last match did and we'll lose the next 2 in a row. But let's see what we bring in versus this deck. I think Jace's Defeat is worth bringing in versus this. Negates for sure. Maybe Syncopates? I don't think so though. I think the counters that we've got in are going to be good enough. They don't generally have a lot of targeted things to deal with our stuff. They plan on trying to block or use Baral's expertise to bounce multiple things at once. So maybe it is okay for us to cut dive downs. We'll give that a shot. Nimble Obstructionist doesn't seem super good versus them. The things they've got that do triggers and activated abilities do them multiple times. Also, their Thopters can easily block and kill this, so let's cut those. And we'll give this a shot. Alright, this is a great hand. We will keep it. And we left in our Essence Scatters because Psi Master Thopterist is a threat that can just overwhelm us if left unchecked. We want to have an answer for that. So we'll go Slither Blade and pass it on back. Alright, Metal Spinner's Puzzle Knot. Kind of reminiscent of their previous start, though they didn't have to sack their Renegade map this time. Let's for sure go with Curious Obsession. We can't hold up Essence Scatter and Retort this way, which we couldn't hold up Retort anyway, since this guy is a rogue and not a wizard. Well, was hoping to draw a Spell Pierce, but 'twas not on top of the deck, unfortunately. Alright, so we're not going to have to be dealing with Psi this turn. Good deal. That's what we wanted to see, another Slither Blade. So let's go attacking. And now we're going to be holding up counter spells for the next little bit and just pecking away while drawing a ton of cards. Get in there, little snaky. think you're a Naga, aren't you? Yeah, you're a Naga. Snake person. And pass the turn. If there's nothing that we need to counter, we'll probably flash in our Merfolk Trickster, which will give us the wizard cost reduction on Wizard's Retort. Alright. Looks like they're not doing anything. Maybe we shouldn't do that. That will let down our shields. They could use Commit to Memory to bounce our Slither Blade. So yeah, we're just going to come to our turn, play out our island, and go attacking. Alright, negate's good. I think we will play out our second Slither Blade here. And then end our turn. Right, they are making all their land drops, which is sometimes hard with this deck with the number of lands they have. Aetherflux Reservoir. Let's say no to that with a negate. Or try to. They could have a Metallic Rebuke here. Looks like they don't. Very good for us. Very bad for them. Tricksters. I think we're about to the point that we can start flashing in Tricksters. Unfortunately, Jin is not a wizard either, so we can't really afford to play it out and let our Wizard's Retort shield down. Alrighty. Take him down to 10. Draw a card. Spell Pierce is excellent. We'll pass the turn. Alright, sacking a Renegade map there while floating mana. Yep, you got another island. Prophetic Prism, sure. Guess they just wanted to thin their deck out a little bit, make it less likely they'd draw a land. You can have another Prophetic Prism. There are only certain cards that we care about countering from the opponent, and these that don't do anything without help are not one of them. Yep, you can have another Renegade map too. My turn. Let's flash in a Trickster. That cuts our clock down to 2 turns. And we're going to flash in the other one too, just in case of removal from the opponent. And go swinging. Yes, please. And we're just not going to play out anything here. We've got a lot of counter magic in hand. And if we just get to the next turn with the board as it is, we're going to win. And we got there. Yeah, we can't keep this hand. This hand has nothing going on. Opponent mulligan 2. This is a bit better. Oh, opponent mulligan again. We're definitely going to keep this with them going to 5. Alright, yeah, I would like another Trickster. That sounds fine to me. Hopefully we can just out-aggro our opponent here. Looks like they are red. Oh, they are a vehicles deck, it appears. So Trickster can do some ambushing here, perhaps. Yep, Veteran Motorist, gotcha. Looks like red-white, maybe Mardu. The old vehicles decks were always splashing black. Mardu is red, white, black. Alrighty, we're just going to play that out and pass the turn. Alright, going to combat. I would like to ambush this Inventor's Apprentice rather than tap down the Veteran Motorist, so we're going to attempt to do that. If they've got a removal spell, it will stop us from blocking. But it looks like they don't. Good deal. Nimble Obstructionist is okay. Our Wizard's Retort is online now. So we're going to attack again. We have a lot more cards in hand than our opponent does, where they mulligan lower than we did. Yeah, we're just going to take this. And flash in Nimble Obstructionist. Right, we keep making our land drops, which is awesome. Let's go to combat. Get in there. We're going to play out Baral while holding up Wizard's Retort. And we'll take that. We're winning this race. We'll leave Merfolk Trickster in hand. Let's not let our shields down. There is the black mana. So go attacking. And here's where we start to seal the deal. Tempest Gen with Wizard's Retort. We will say no to that. Yes, please. Yeah, we'll let that go. The Merfolk Trickster's more valuable now. And we'll just make sure that we get in there. All right. Again, this is a deck that I have not yet faced with this, so I'm not super sure how to sideboard. I'm going to err on doing our mono red sideboard plan, I guess, since that deck is often just as fast as mono red or red black. So I think we want our Essence Scatters. We may want some number of negates. They are going to be running vehicles most likely. We want Aethersphere Harvester. We generally bring in Diamond Mare versus red decks. I'm not sure if we want to do that. I think that we want to cut our card draw, our Chart of Courses. Generally versus red, I cut Siren Storm Tamers because of Goblin Chain Whirler, but I doubt this deck has that. Sleep is sometimes good versus red, though not as good as versus the green-based decks. Unsummon is pretty good. I guess Obstructionist is not as good versus this. So let's cut that. That gives us 3 more slots. So we could bring in 3 Diamond Mares. We could bring in 2 Sleeps and a Diamond Mare. Is there anything else that we would like to cut? Maybe Wizard's Retort in some number? Just try to out-aggro them? I think we want our Dive Downs. Spell Pierce is okay. Yeah, our time's running low here. Let's cut 2 Wizard's Retorts. We'll bring in our Diamond Mares. And we'll bring in 1 Sleep as a hedge here. I'm super uncertain about our sideboarding here, though. Okay, no Curious Obsession, but this seems like a fine hand to me. We'll keep it. Alright, Consulate Dreadnought, eh? That thing needs a lot to crew it. Unless they have the enchantment that just crews it, or the, what's it called, Start Your Engines that just crews all your vehicles and gives stuff +2/+0, I think. Alright, well, it's nice that there was no removal. Let's go attacking. We're going to plan on flashing in Merfolk Trickster here. Especially if they find some way to crew this Dreadnought, I would like to tap it down. And that will also allow us to turn our Wizard's Retorts on, which we sided out too. It's very lucky, whatever you want to call it, that we have the 2 in hand. Yep, that is what I was talking about. Yep, you got it. That's a big bad boy. Let's go ahead and tap it down. Don't know if we can actually beat it now that it is there. We did leave in our Unsummon, so that would be a way to get rid of that siege modification. Curious Obsession helps, so we'll do that. Also allowing us to leave our Wizard's Retort up. And I think we're going to swing with both this time. I think we can afford to take 1 hit of 10 from that thing. Essence Scatter, sure. We're going to pass the turn. Yep, taking us down to 10. Does this thing trample? It is not. It's first strike, though. Alright, Sleep. That helps. I think we're going to attack with both of these. Keep on trying to draw extra cards. We'll say no to that. Diamond Mare. So we're not going to be able to hold anything up here, so Diamond Mare is probably better to play out than Slitherblade. It just uses our mana more efficiently. And we need to block, so hopefully they don't have another removal spell here. If they do, we're dead. Alright, that's sort of a removal spell. If they use her efficiently, they can sack this to make our Diamond Mare unable to block. They may not be doing that. Good deal. They could have definitely killed us there. Pia can sacrifice an artifact and make something unable to block. Merfolk Trickster's great. I think we may want to just sleep now. It's a hard call. Yeah, let's sleep. Target you. Alright, we got a couple of turns free here. See what we draw. Another land would not be remiss. Another Merfolk Trickster's pretty good too, though. We may actually be able to pull this game out. Alright. Sky Sovereign. Yeah, bye-bye to Slitherblade, unfortunately. Okay, so I think our play is to swing with this, and then flash in our Tricksters to tap this and this if they crew it. Lots of things can mess this up for us here. Right, finally get themselves a non-painful white mana there. We'll go to combat. Flash in Trickster. Tap that, which they'll probably use to crew the Sky Sovereign. Yep, looks like that's the case. Then we'll tap the Sky Sovereign. And we would like to draw an Unsummon or something to allow us to get through some damage here. All we're going to be able to force through for sure is 2. Though, that leaves them unable to kill us if they have no removal, because we can play out Brawl and Slitherblade to block, and if they block with Pia and this, then this is the only thing they have that can crew that. So let's go to combat, and we have to attack. Right, and they can pump with Pia to make that trade with our Trickster. They choose not to, though. So if we play Brawl, that allows us to hold up Wizard's Retort. Of course, we can hold up Essence Scatter with Brawl out, even if we play out Slitherblade. We definitely need a blocker. Yeah, I think we're going to hold up Wizard's Retort in case they have another creature there. Or removal spell. Because we can just block Dreadnought if we have to. And we've got access to 2 Essence Scatters thanks to Baral, so we'll scatter that. We don't want them to crew their Sovereign, be able to kill our Baral and let this Dreadnought through. Yes, please. We'll discard the Slitherblade. Well, looks like double Essence Scatter was the correct play, unless they have yet another 3-power creature to play out. Good game, my friend. Alright, Baral getting it done for us. It's another one of those risky hands, you know, the one land Slitherblade Curious Obsession, but we're going to risk it again, because we are greedy like that. It would be much better if we were on the play with that, but then again, being on the draw gives us an extra draw to find a land, so maybe that's okay. Yep, that's what we were afraid of. we get punished. Karizev, sure. There's our land. Right, we'll go ahead and pass the turn. Bomat Courier, sure. Second Bomat Courier, sure. We'll go to combat. We will flash in pre-combat. Stop these things from attacking. Alright. Well, I think we have to do this. Whether they're going to be willing to let it through or block. Looks like they're going to block. Alright, well, Slitherblade to the rescue, sorta. At least able to hold back the Bomat Courier if no removal is forthcoming. Heart of Kirin. Well, they can't crew that, so that's good. Yeah, we'll take 3. Good deal, that helps. Brawl allows us to hold up Spell Pierce / Essence Scatter. Let's swing with both of them. Alright, definitely not wanting to let us draw cards. Let's play out Brawl, and hopefully we get to Essence Scatter whatever huge threat they're able to play this turn, though they are stuck on 2 lands, so maybe they aren't able to. Bomat Courier? Sure, I'm fine with that. And they pass. Awesome. Let's play our land. And we will swing with Slitherblade and Merfolk Trickster. Alright, we're just eating those Bomat Couriers alive. We will pass the turn. Holding up tons of counter magic. We'll say no to that. And we will draw. Discard this second Brawl. Block the monkey. And now we're going to get very, very aggressive. Get in there. Land? Sure, let's play out our Slitherblade. Land's good toss fodder to Baral for the loot effect, and opponent says that's enough. Okay, so versus these red decks, if they get a good draw, it's very hard for us, though we can win. I generally like to take out the Storm Tamers because of Goblin Chain Whirler, and often take out the Wizard's Retorts too. Let's see, we're definitely bringing in Diamond Mares, Aethersphere Harvester, our other Essence Scatter, and 2 Sleeps. So Wizard's Retort is a clean bring out versus those. I do like to keep in the dive downs. Spell Pierces are useful as well. Chart a Course is sometimes just not as good. So I think what we're going to do is cut 3 Chart a Course and 1 Wizard's Retort and go with this. Just kind of been experimenting with sideboarding versus these red decks, trying to find out what the best way to do it is. Alright, this is not super great, but I think it is keepable. Aethersphere Harvester is very nice. They don't start out with a Bomat Courier, so that's good for us. Of course, we don't have a 1-drop either, which we have less in the deck with the Storm Tamers gone. There's Heart of Kirin. Let's hope they're never able to crew that again this game. Play out Brawl. Alright, there's the aforementioned Chain Whirler, so we're going to get smacked for 5 here. 1 off of the Chain Whirler and 4 off of the Heart of Kirin. So we could play out Harvester here. We could Curious Obsession and attack. I think we're going to play out the Harvester and then hold up the ability to crew here. Alright, that makes me think they have the ability to kill our Harvester, either with another Chain Whirler after we block, or a burn spell. So we're not going to block. They did have the unlicensed disintegration, unfortunately. So we're down to 8 here. Alrighty. Well, let's Diamond Mare. We'll call blue. And even though it's going to fall off, we're going to crew this. We're going to play Curious Obsession for the life gain and the card draw. And get in there for 4 while gaining 4. Please go lifelink for me. Alright, that's not bad. We'll have our Curious Obsession fall off when our Harvester goes back to being just a vehicle. Alright, well they're stuck on 3 lands and they don't seem to be adding anything else to the board. Maybe we can be okay here. Unfortunately, we can't play out one of our 3 drops and still have Wizard's Retort up, though Merfolk Trickster's quite good. So let's do this again. Go to combat. Go ahead and lifelink, buffer our life total, and pass. Alright, they got 4 Rekindling Phoenix. No, I do not want you to do that. Rekindling Phoenix is a pain. Alright, crew in the heart. We'll wait till that's a creature. Then we'll tap it down with Trickster. Kinda stem the bleeding a bit. Actually get us ahead in the life race here. Curious Obsession. Awesome. Let's obsess here. Gain some life. Crew here. And swing for 6. See what we draw before we decide to play anything. Alright, an island. I think that means we want to play out our Tempest Gen. And end the turn. Alright, Tempest Gen is dying. That's fine. At least they're not killing our Trickster. Well, not yet at least. They have mana up. Choosing to try to block. Nimble Obstructionist will have something to say about that. Let's crew it up. And I'm wondering if they will crew this. We could swing in with the Trickster, and then they'd block with the Chain Whirler. Go to combat. We'll attack with our Harvester. Alright, let's cycle the Nimble Obstructionist to stifle that Heart of Kirin trigger. Awesome. Merfolk Trickster is great. That may seal up the game for us. Glorybringer, okay. Go to combat. We'll flash in our Trickster. You want to wait to crew with the Glorybringer till I target it. There you go. Because if you crew beforehand, I can target the Chain Whirler or the Heart of Kirin. Yep. Right, just Heart of Kirin. No blocks. So they can only block one thing, which means they are dead. Yeah, good deal. Another one of those hands, isn't it? Well, we're just going to keep on doing what we've been doing and keep it. At least we've got 2 one-drop creatures this time. Looks like we're up against red-blacky type stuff again. We drew another land, so I think we're in decent shape here. So this could be aggro, it could be Grixis, red, black, blue. Looks like it is Grixis with the siphoner there. So let's go for Curious Obsession. And get in there. Alright, Baral, we don't have a 1 mana thing to protect our Slitherblade, so we'll go ahead and play out our Storm Tamer. Spell Piercer Dive Down would have made me hold the Storm Tamer in hand so we could protect our Slitherblade. Whirler Virtuoso. Okay, I mean that's good versus Storm Tamer, but not very good versus Slitherblade. Second Baral is not nearly as good as the first Baral. Let's go to attacks. Swing with the Slitherblade. Get in there and draw a card. Land, that's okay. So I think we're going to Baral, which will allow us to hold up Essence Scatter. Also gives us the activation mana for Siren Storm Tamer to protect our Slitherblade if need be. Alright, chooses to draw with the Siphoner, so we're not going to be seeing any Thopters from the Whirler unless they get more energy here. Nicol Bolas. Very glad we have Essence Scatter up. Yes, please. We'll discard one of those islands. Choose not to attack. We could have double blocked and killed the Siphoner. We'll play that. Go to combat. And we'll attack with just the Slitherblade again. Dive Down is excellent here. So let's pass the turn. We can flash in Nimble Obstructionist if we need to, or cycle it to prevent a trigger. We could have stopped them from drawing with the Glint Sleeve Siphoner. I don't think that's a very good use of Nimble Obstructionist, though. Another Bolas, another Essence Scatter. Yes, please. Unsummon seems useful. Let's pitch Baral. Alright, swinging with both. I think we're just going to block the Whirler here. We could double block here, but with mana up, I want the Storm Tamer's activation available. So let's just block here and prevent some damage. And for the same reason, I'm not going to flash in Obstructionist this turn. Tempest Djinn. Alright, let's go to combat. This time we're going to swing all out. Yes, please. Curious Obsession. Very good. So we can play out Tempest Djinn. And I think that's what we're going to do. And pass the turn. Champion of Witch, you got it. So they need a way to mitigate some damage or they're going to be dead on our next attack step, and it looks like they don't have it. Okay, versus these Grixis-y mid-range decks, we generally do want some extra counter spells, especially Negates and Jace's Defeats. I think 2 Negates is probably going to be okay. We may want some Syncopates too. The Essence Scatters are very good here versus these decks, so we may want the 4th one, but I don't think we do. Siren Stormtamer is very good versus them with all their removal. Unsummon is less good versus these decks, so let's side that out. Probably side out Chart, of course. It's a little slow, which gives us one more space to bring in something. So it could be Essence Scatter, it could be the third Negate, could be a Syncopate. I think we're going to bring in one Syncopate. Give us one more versatile counter spell here. Yep, this looks fine. We'll see how it does. Alright, another one of those hands we keep getting. Let's keep it. Seems to be working out for us so far. Well, we didn't draw a land that time, but let's hope we don't get our Slitherblade killed. Alright, no removal. There's our land. Very good. Go ahead and play out the island. Would like to draw another land? Well, maybe we'll get there. We've got mana up for Dive Down to protect our Slitherblade. Alright, no removal forthcoming, it seems. There's a land. Awesome. Let's just keep on getting in there. Good deal. Spell Pierce is very good. We'll just pass the turn. Hopefully they'll try to cast something here and tap down low. That way we can flash in Obstructionist and have a clock on the board that's a bit better than what we've got going on. Don't want to leave our shields down while they could have removal up. Bolas. I feel like we should counter that, and we're going to do it with a Syncopate. And go to our turn. Stormtamer, that's good. Gives us additional protection for our Slitherblade, as well as turning on the cost reduction of Wizard's Retort. Still would have liked to hit a fourth land drop there. That would have been very good. Scarab God. Nope, Scarab God's very bad for us. We're going to say no to that. That's a card I don't think we can beat once it resolves. Oh, there's our fourth land. Awesome. Get in there. Another Dive Down. We're going to pass the turn. Maybe flashing in Merfolk Trickster here if we don't have to counter anything. Duress, huh? I think I would like to Wizard's Retort that, just so you don't get to see what's in our hand. Still leaves us up mana to do other things with. Vraska's Contempt. Nope, we're going to say no to that. Using Spell Pierce while we can get the value out of it instead of Dive Down, which is going to work at any point. Go to our turn. Yeah, we're making land drops now. Very good. See what we draw here. Brawl. So I think we're just going to resolve Tempest Djinn, be able to hold up double Dive Down and end the turn. That puts lethal on the board as well. We'll say no to that. And that looks like we got it. Good deal. Alrighty, so this is very similar to the hands we've been keeping. The difference here is we're on the play and we do not have a Curious Obsession, so I don't think we can keep it. Alright, that's a little land heavy, but I don't think we can throw back this 6. Another Wizard's Retort. Sure. Maybe should have bottomed that, looking for more pressure or a Curious Obsession. If we can have our Slitherblade survive, though, to the point that we can start chaining off counterspells, we may be okay. Well, they're not killing it there. Let's get in there for one. Alright, looks like we may be up against red aggro, against which this hand is not very good at all. If it was a more mid-rangey or controlling deck, we would be in better shape, I think. Huh. Tempest Gen. They can probably kill it. I think, though, if they take the turn off to kill it, then it's in our favor, plus it will take them 2 spells, since it has 4 toughness. Unless they have a cut in the deck, which the decks running Pyromancer usually don't. They're mono red with Flame of Keld. Yep, there's an Earthshaker Kinra. Alright, they're attacking here, so we're not going to block. They probably have a Magma Spray or a Shock to finish off our Gen, and I don't think we want that to happen, as Gen is a massive threat that just keeps getting bigger as we play out more islands. So let's start getting in there. Wizard's Retort hopefully will let us win this race. Earthshaker, I think we're going to counter that one. Right, they're hitting us down to 10. With this, we'll be hitting for 6. And if we draw another land, well, that also adds pressure to the board. We'll have lethal next turn. Alright, so we've got exactly lethal on the board with Wizard's Retort to help protect them and us. Also, if they kill one of these Slither Blades and we draw another island, we still got lethal. Our face. Sure. Think we'll counter that one. We may be needing to block with this Slither Blade now. Another 3 damage spell would kill us if we let both of these through. Right, now a 2 damage spell would, if we let it all through. So I think our best bet of staying alive is to block the Pyromancer. Now they need 4 more damage to kill us. Well, there's 3. A Shock. Another 3 damage spell would do it. And they got the Lightning Strike. Good game. Well, stuff was going on, so it wouldn't let me say it. That was very close, though. Okay, so we definitely want our Diamond Mares, our Harvester, and our Essence Scatter. I think Sleep is less good versus this build of the deck, so I don't think we're going to bring that in. These builds of the deck also tend not to run Goblin Chain Whirler, from my experience, so I don't think we need to take out Storm Tamer. Chart a Course is a little too slow, though. And Unsummon's not very good because most of their stuff has enters the battlefield effects or haste, so we'll get rid of that. Probably just cut 2 Wizard's Retorts. I think everything else is pretty good. Alright, we'll submit this. The 1 land hand again. We're on the play, we've got 2 Diamond Mares. We have a Spell Pierce. This hand is so good if we draw 1 more land. We're going to risk it and probably get super punished. Well, they mulligan, that helps. Maybe they'll mulligan to 5 and give us a better shot. Ah, they did. Can we get a 4? Looks like no, but that should help. As long as we can draw a land within the first few turns, I think we're going to be in good shape. land off the top would be just insane. Just chain off diamond mares. There's a Soul Scar Mage, sure. Well, that's not a land. Let's start getting in there. Another Soul Scar Mage. Alright, looks like we're going to be taking one. Could be more if they've got a 1-mana burn spell. Looks like no. Alright, go to our turn. That's not a land either. Well, we're not going to win by holding back. No, we're probably just not going to win at all. All we needed was one more land. Doggone it, deck. Why couldn't you be on our side this game? Alright, they have 3 mana up. Alright, just taking 2. So they do have Chain Whirlers. That is unusual in my experience, though maybe things have just changed and I haven't noticed. Yeah, they shrink our Slither Blade. So we're in horrible, horrible shape now. We'll discard a Tempest Gen. And I think we're just going to brick off and die here. Probably should have just mulliganed. Let's block here. We're going to try to dive down to save our Slither Blade. Oh, got him to burn a shock at least, I guess. Soaked up 5 damage there, though with the shock they get an extra 2 from the prowess on Soul Scar Mages. I still think if we top deck a land this turn, we have a shot. Well, there it is. I guess we're going to find out, aren't we? Choose blue, of course. Now we would like to draw another land so that we can Diamond Mare plus Spell Pierce next turn. That is assuming they don't kill our Diamond Mare here. Nope, they are. Well, that soaked up 3 damage. So, taking 7 minimum, going to 5. They are down to 1 card. If it's a burn spell, we're in super, super bad shape. And it is. So, we're just dead. That's the way she rolls. We took a chance, and it was not in our favor. So, 4 and 2, not bad at all with this budget deck. Mono blue aggro / tempo. I like to refer to it as more of a tempo deck than an aggro deck, to be honest, the way that it plays. But I've been very impressed with it so far in its efficacy, considering it doesn't have any mythics and such a small number of rares. Here again is the deck list. Also, as always, there will be a link to the list in the description if you'd like to check that out for yourself. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, let me know in the comments and by leaving a like below. It really does help tremendously. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.